Hi guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Miss G. Today I'm going to be talking about something that we have all most likely experienced called toxic positivity. Have you ever been in a situation where you're feeling down or sad? Maybe you've experienced something negative in your life, like a failing test grade, or an argument with a loved one, perhaps a bad breakup, or the death of a pet. And you've expressed your sadness and you've expressed how you feel, but you've been shut down. Maybe you were told something like, suck it up, move on with it. That's life. Maybe you were told something like, it could be worse. You're really actually very blessed. Or anything to that effect. If you've ever been on the receiving end of that type of comment or been the one to give it, that is called toxic positivity. And it is not good for our health mentally. And that is what I want to discuss today. So I'm going to jump right in with the definition from Dr. Darnley. She is a licensed clinical psychologist, and she defines it as, quote, excessive optimism or optimism to an extreme, end quote. Dr. Jamie Zuckerman, a clinical psychologist out of Pennsylvania who specializes in anxiety disorders and self-esteem, defines toxic positivity as, quote, the assumption, either by oneself or others, that despite a person's emotional pain or difficult situation, they should only have a positive mindset, end quote. So these are those positive vibes only type of people. Dr. Darnley also likens toxic positivity to a metaphor where, quote, one's house could be burning down all around them and you're sitting there smiling, saying how much you enjoy the heat, end quote. I really liked that metaphor because it explains toxic positivity so well. In the midst of something terrible going on around you and happening to you, instead of acknowledging that and saying, oh my gosh, this isn't good, we tend to put that aside, suppress that, and try to find the positive in the situation. So like she said, well, my house is burning down, but I'm enjoying the heat. Not bad, okay? She says that overall, doing this invalidates real human experiences. And that is something that I would like to counter because I think that it's important that we get back to validating each other's feelings, emotions, and experiences. Whether the experience is being perceived correctly or not, that doesn't matter. The person who's experiencing it is perceiving it that way, then that's the way it's happening for them. And so to invalidate that by throwing in this super positive language, even though we mean well, it actually ends up doing more harm than good. And that's according to a study from 2012 that I've also linked to in the descriptions. Or actually, I read an article, and in that article, it links to the 2012 study, and it also links to a couple of other articles. So I'm going to include that in the description box for you as well. So just looking at toxic positivity and thinking about it, what we can see is that it really can do harm when we don't allow other people to have their emotions and to have their feelings, and when we don't validate those, okay? When we sweep them under the rug or when we ignore them, we're doing more harm than good. So I also looked at, I was telling you that study, let me get on here. It says here, I am looking at an article from a website called forge.medium.com, and the name of the article, which I've linked to in the descriptions, is The Cure for Toxic Positivity by Rebecca Renner from October 4th, 2019. And this one's a short read. It's a 4-minute read. But she mentions towards the middle of her article, here it says, she mentions a study from 2012 that, quote, found that encouraging people to push away their negative emotions often has the opposite effect, making them feel bad about feeling bad, in addition to whatever else they were already going through. End quote. She then goes on to discuss a 2005 study that, quote, found that relentlessly focusing on the positive during times of stress, or what the authors call avoidance coping, increased the risk of depressive symptoms later on. End quote. So while there might be something that you're doing to cope right then immediately that feels like the right thing, if you are indeed suppressing those feelings, you increase the risk of having depressive symptoms later on. She also says that there are plenty of other examples that point to the same conclusion. Quote, that forced positivity often leaves us worse off. End quote. So, that is something that I feel needs to be addressed, especially during the pandemic, during this time where we are being told to find the positive in the situation, and where people like me are being shrugged off as, oh, she just worries too much or whatever it is, and that's not the case. And so this toxic positivity really needs to stop. So to my students and also to my fellow teachers, I say, if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling worried, exhausted, or uncertain about returning to school tomorrow, it's okay. Listen to yourself. Listen to the clues that your body and your mind are giving you. It's okay to listen to them. We should listen to them. We need to acknowledge what we're feeling. So I encourage you, again, students, fellow teachers, acknowledge what you're feeling. Sit with it for a while. Give yourself time to work through those feelings, and do not beat yourself up about it, because those are perfectly normal human emotions, and it's okay. Those clues could be prompting you to do something different. Maybe you need to look into online school versus a traditional school setting for your child or children. Maybe you need to consider online school or something called unschooling, which, if you've never heard of unschooling, something that I've mentioned to students before. There's a TED Talk by a young boy named Logan LaPlante. I think it's about 7 or 8 years old now. And he talks about hack schooling, which is the same thing as unschooling. And I will put that link in the descriptions as well, so that you can see what I'm talking about. But maybe that's what you need to do, is consider your options. These feelings and these emotions are clues. And again, maybe they're prompting you to do something else or to go a different route. So either way, whatever's going on, don't let the district or other people push you or intimidate you into throwing yourself or your kids into a situation that is unsafe, because we all know that schools are not safe right now. Those who are saying that this virus cannot be spread at schools are willing deniers and choosing ignorance, because they know in their heart of hearts that that is simply not true. It makes no sense to say that this virus can spread everywhere else but not in schools. If that were the case, then let's just throw all of us into a school building and lock it up, and none of us will get the virus, right? Sounds a little bit like Edgar Allan Poe's Masque of the Red Death to me, and any of you who have read that know that it doesn't end well. So again, don't let anyone tell you to suck it up or get on with it, or to stop whining, or dumb stuff I've heard like, you're so lucky school's even open. Don't let anybody tell you that kind of stuff, okay? Fuck that. Fuck that bullshit. You know what you are feeling, and whatever you are feeling is okay. So, I'm here. If anybody needs to vent, if anybody wants to talk, just you can either direct message me on my social media accounts, which I will also link in the descriptions, or you can comment below, or send me a good old-fashioned email, which I will also put in the description so that we can talk about this, or again, so that you can just vent. I'm here to listen. I'm all ears, guys. And good luck tomorrow. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Social distance. And mask up. Love you guys. Peace out.